Okay, the Gemara says, according to the Chachamim, 1 month before Yom Tov, you're supposed to learn the laws of the Yom Tov. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says 2 weeks before. So with all opinions, it's within 2 weeks of Rosh Hashana. It's within a month of Sukkot. So there's a lot to learn between Rosh Hashana, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. So we're going to go through basic dinim. Number one, this Shabbos is normally Shabbos Mavorchim, because it's the Shabbos before Rosh Hashana. So we say Tehillim like a regular Shabbos Mavorchim, but we don't bless. We don't do, Mishbeach, Rosh Chodesh, Tishrei. In halacha, the reason for that is, which is again a very strange reason, but it has its meanings, that we want to mix up the Satan. We don't want the Satan to know it's Rosh Hashanah. So if you're going to proclaim in Shul that it's Rosh Hashanah coming up, and this year Yom Chamishi, so then the Satan will know when Rosh Hashanah is. Like this, maybe he thinks it won't know when it is. The Baal Shem Tov said that this month of the year Hashem blesses the Jews. And we don't bench, Hashem blesses it. And with the power of Hashem blessing this month, then we bless it all the other 11 months of the year. What is Hashem's bracha? Atem nitzavim hayem kolchem, you stand in unity, achdus. That's the biggest bracha that Hashem gives the Jewish people. So we said, but we still say the whole Tillim. But again, we just don't bench Rosh Chodesh. Saturday night, at the end of Ma'ariv, we don't say V'nayim Vato Kodesh, because any time there's a Shabbos or Yom Tov, when there's a Yom Tov during the week, that you don't have full 6 days to do Malacha, we don't say V'nayim Vato Kodesh. Because V'nayim is basically Hashem should, like when he built the Mishkan, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Yirachin shetirshchen shchina b'maisi yadechem, that our shchina should rest. So if there's no full week of work, so then we don't say V'nayim. If Rosh Hashanah, let's say, would be Shabbos and Sunday, so then the Saturday night before, you would say V'nayim because you have 6 days that you could work. But this year it's Thursday and Friday, so we don't say this. Next is that Saturday night, we say Slichas, and Ashkenazi Jews say Slichas. Ideally, the proper time for Slichas is after midnight, halachic midnight, which is approximately 1 o'clock. Many people say it earlier because they're afraid people won't come and they won't be able to get a minyan. But the ideal time for Slichas this Saturday night, you always begin Slichas, and Ashkenazim is saying, on Saturday night. But Slichas need to have a minimum of 4 days. And there's a reason, because Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur and Shabbos takes away 4 days later, so you have to have a minimum of Slichas for 4 days. So therefore this year, when Rosh Hashanah is Thursday, Friday, so you have Saturday night, which is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you have 4 days. But if Rosh Hashanah, let's say, would be Tuesday, Wednesday, the first day of Rosh Hashanah, the Gemara says an expression, Loi adu Rosh, Aleph Dalid Vav. So the first day of Rosh Hashanah can never be Sunday, can never be Wednesday, and can never be Friday. Which is interesting, it's very interesting. The original Rosh Hashanah, when Adam Rishon was created, he was created on Friday. So that year Rosh Hashanah fell out on Friday. But since the calendar is set up, Rosh Hashanah can never be Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday. There's a lot of reasons for that, because then you have Shabbos and Yom Kippur back to back, and you can't do that. So anyway, so this year, because there's 4 days of Slichas, you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so you start the Saturday night before. If Rosh Hashanah will be, let's say, Tuesday and Wednesday, so then you'd have to start a week plus before, 10 days before. So that's the concept of Slichas. Now the first time, because the first Slicha is what's called, the Tefillah is Metzoi Menucha. Metzoi Menucha means Metzoi, the day of rest, so it means Saturday night. So we say Slichas, the Chazan puts on a talis. Again, we start Slichas every day with Ashrei, but again in halacha it says you have to wait for a minyan by Mincha or by Slichas also. You need to wait for a minyan to be able to say Ashrei by Mincha or by Slichas, because the half Kaddish goes on the Ashrei, and you need a minyan there for Ashrei that you can say the half Kaddish afterwards. Okay, the Chazan wears a talis. Okay, you need a minyan, like we said. Slichas should be said standing. If somebody is just not able to stand, at least when they say Hashem, Hashem, Kavrachum, they should stand at that time. Okay, that's as far as now. Every other, the rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have slichas, before davening. Ashkenazic stuff. It's interesting. Chabad, not only Chabad, by the way, there are a bunch of Hasidic communities that don't, but Chabad only says slichas before Rosh Hashanah. That's it. We don't say Aser Simei Tshuva. We don't say, most of the world, by the way, even the Ashkenazic world, says slichas a week before Rosh Hashanah, and then during Aser Simei Tshuva. Sfardim say from Rosh Chodesh Elul until Yom Kippur, they have it 40 days. But Ashkenazic say the week before, and then the Aser Simei Tshuva. But in Chabad we don't say slichas Aser Simei Tshuva, except some Gedalia, because it's a fast day. So we have slichas, but not the regular slichas. Erev Rosh Hashanah, the slichas, which this year again is Wednesday, it's basically double the size of a regular day. It's just a longer slichas. Erev Rosh Hashanah in the morning, now there's no Tachnun, Erev Rosh Hashanah. Okay? But the Mincha before Erev Rosh Hashanah, we do say Tachnun. Okay? So, normally, if you don't say Tachnun Rosh Chodesh, so the Mincha before you don't. But there's 3 exceptions to the rule. Erev Rosh Hashanah, Erev Yom Kippur, and Erev Pesach Sheni. At Mincha you do say Tachnun, because the Yom Tov begins really in the afternoon, not in the morning, whatever. So we don't say Tachnun. By Slichas you say Tachnun, by Shachris we don't say Tachnun. But after Shachris, you have to do what's called Ataras Nedarim, the nullification of vows that people made through the duration of the year. Why do we do it? Because people make a lot of vows. No, I promise I'll do whatever. So they have to do Ataras Nedarim.
What's the Kol Nidre is forward-looking?
Kol Nidre is forward-looking, and Ataras Nedarim is past and future, by the way. Okay, but that's not for now. It says in Sfardim, so why do we need both? Okay, we'll get to that. I want to get more to the practical dinim. But it's a good point. We do both. Because, anyway. So, what is Ataras Nedarim? Ataras Nedarim is nullification of vows. So you have to do it in front of a Bais Din. So you need a minimal of 3. Many places, but down in halacha, and that's Chabad Kasa, we do it in front of 10 people. A minyan. So you have one guy saying it and 10 people listening, and then, you just go around. So you have 11 people. But the minimum size you need is a Bais Din of 3 plus the one saying it, because he has to nullify the vows. Now what's very important is that a person needs to know what they're saying. I mean, if you're going to read Hebrew and you not understand what you're saying, so it's worthless. I mean, because here you have to know what you're saying. You're coming to the Bais Din saying, I want to nullify all the vows I made, and you have to know what you're saying. So therefore you can say it in English, you could say it in any language you want, as long as the Bais Din understands it and you understand it. What? Why so much? I'm sorry, what? It's all about Nedarim. Because people make a lot of Nedarim. Yeah, it is. Because people might just say, it's a big problem. No, it says in halacha because people make a lot of Nedarim. So you have to come into Rosh Hashanah with a clean. Let me take 1 second. So normally a Bais Din, interestingly, is not allowed to be related. You can't have a father and a son in a Bais Din, and 2 brothers or 2 first cousins in a Bais Din. They're related. That's not allowed to be kosher Bais Din. But for nullification of vows, Ataras Nedarim, it says in halacha you can even do it with relatives. So technically, if a father has 3 boys, father can stand up and do Ataras Nedarim in front of his 3 sons, and 3 sons can, because Ataras Nedarim relatives are kosher. But for any other Bais Din, it's not kosher. What?
Do they have to understand the same exact language? So if the son doesn't speak, one of the sons does not speak a certain language that the father and the other 2 sons speak, and he still sit on the bed?
He could, but he has to know what they're saying. He has to hear from them. It would be a problem. Yeah, but he has to understand it. Okay,